This interview is brought to you by the Pro Fight Shop in Hollywood. Radio Rahim here with Freddie Roach. We're at the tail end of your tour for the Manny Pacquiao Brandon Rios matchup. Talk to me about how this tour has been different from the last.
Well, who gets to go to the Great Wall of China? You know, that says it all, I think. It was a great tour. Saw new parts of the world. You go to Singapore, the best city I've ever seen. They don't even allow chewing gum there. So it's been a great tour, and you know, we get a big fight coming up in China. China's a new market for boxing, and everything's going great so far.
You know, it looked like you guys were having such a good time, like you just explained, and then we saw Pacquiao and Rios together. Are they getting along? Is it a cordial relationship?
You know, there's a little tension at first between all of us. You know, just competitive edge and so forth. But by the end of the press conference, we're shaking each other's hands and saying hi and talking to each other. And, you know, the thing is, there's nothing really personal here. It's all about the fight, though. You know, the thing is, we're hungry to win the fight. He's in our way right now. And, you know, they won't be friends in the fight, in the ring, believe me.
And one thing that's been made to be a big deal is how a fighter comes back after a big defeat. When he was fighting Marquez last time, he talked about how he seemed focused, and he was even maybe a little angry that Marquez wasn't willing to accept his previous decisions. How is his mentality now? What's Pacquiao's emotions and head like?
Well, you know, everybody handles getting knocked out in different ways, you know. I remember the first time I got knocked down, I thought it was impossible. And it actually changed my life, because I was never as brave as I once was, because I thought it was impossible to be knocked down. But I found out it can happen to anybody. Manny's a realist. Manny knows that being in boxing, part of boxing is getting knocked out. He's been knocked out twice before, early in his career, and he accepts it so well. I don't think it even bothers him at all. You know, he made a mistake, and the guy capitalized on it and knocked him out. But he doesn't dwell on that. You know, the thing is, his mind frame is great right now. He's hungry to get back in the gym, and you know, we're talking about the strategy of this fight already on the planes and so forth. So I don't think it's really going to affect him at all in the fight, because he knows it's part of the sport, and that's the past. He's looking for the future, you know. So. You know, I'm going to have a 6-week training. I'll be in training camp for 6 weeks with Manny. He's going to start a couple weeks before I get there. I wrote a schedule for him of what I want him to do, and see, an 8-week training camp for Manny Pacquiao is really too much, because his work ethic is so high that he burns out a little bit in 8 weeks. 6 weeks is more adaptive. He'll peak right at the right moment, I feel. So, I mean, we've been together a long time. And, you know, we're going, and I talked to Manny about going back to old school. I said, remember me, you and Boo Boy, we did everything, and everything was great. And, you know, you did your own exercises, and you stretch yourself and so forth. I says, well, what's wrong with that? He says, you know what, you're right. Let's get back to the fundamentals and the basics like we used to have. So we have no strength coach this time. No, you know, it's just me, Manny, Boo Boy, and the team getting together and doing our job.
There's been, you just said you're going back to the old school, and that makes perfect sense. There's been so much made of this division between you and Ariza now. Is it all to do with just wanting to go back to the basics? Is there anything personal there where you feel like he's a distraction from camp or not helpful?
Well, you know, we've had some good success, and he's. I thought when he was doing his job, I thought he was good at his job and so forth. But then, you know, he wants to be the cut man, and Miguel Diaz told me, Freddie, I can't do my job. This guy keeps cutting me off. I said, you know, and I would say, Alex in the corner, I said, he's the cut man, let him up. And he refused to let the cut man up and do his job. And so I had some problems there. And then I was working in the corner one day in the gym, and you know I don't yell that much, and I just observe. And he's yelling at Manny to throw a combination, and I says, shit, I must have lost my job too. So it was just uncomfortable to be working with this guy, because he wanted to do everyone's job, you know. And you know what? I want a camp that's just everyone gets along. And most people in camp don't get along with him, because the type of person he is. So the thing is, I told Manny, I says, Manny, I want a smooth camp. I says, you know what? I says, I hired him, and I'm going to fire him, okay? And Manny says, you're the boss. So I just don't want to do any more disruptive stuff going on in camp. We don't need that. All we need is focus and concentration.
And lastly, Freddie, you said before this fight was even made that if you saw any signs that Pacquiao was deteriorating or that there was a hangover from the knockout, that you would stop whatever fight was signed. Are you still holding true to that? And is there any chance that that could actually happen?
There is a chance that could happen. You never know, but I don't think it will happen. But, you know, my main job is to get him ready for fights. But more importantly, on the human side of it, my job is to protect my fighter, and I protect my fighters no matter who they are very well. And the thing is, if I see him showing signs in training camp that I don't think he should continue, I will tell him, and we have an agreement that when I tell him it's over, it's over. And the thing is, I don't see that coming, but the thing is, if it does come, I will protect my fighter first, because that's my job.
Radio Rahim with Freddie Roach. There's nothing else you could possibly want to know. Thank you for the time. Always a pleasure.